for the fury of those who are oppressed.
Oppressed people's nation. I'm only here for the people.
And captured us.
Come on, black man.
When they came to Africa and captured us, many of the Caucasians put lies out in terms of slavery. They show slavery as mostly us being physically beat. That physical beating is nothing compared to that mental and spiritual whipping that they put on us. That when these Africans that sold out, and I say this for the Afrocentric brothers, the African-centered brothers, that we always talk about Africa and it's good, and we glorify Africa, but we got to, in this day and time, talk about the bad and the good of everything.
Come on with it.
Africa went all that good, and every one of y'all wasn't no kings and queens. Somebody had to do some cooking and somebody had to do some work.
Come on with it.
You know what I mean?
Come on, Panther.
You know, say, man, I come from the line of queens. I come from the line of kings. Well, who came from the line of workers?
That's right.
You know? I mean, if you were king and queen, then who was the workers?
That's right.
Who was the soldiers?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to let people know there's a beauty part of Africa and there's a bad part of Africa.
Come on,
it's an ugly side.
Come on,
it's an ugly side of our family. It's an ugly side of me.
Come on,
and there's a beautiful side of me. The ugly side, when we deal with rape and the so-called culture of homosexuality, those Africans that sold out was the captures, because they the one that knew the woods, the jungles, the bush. They were going to the bush. They were capturing the men. They were capturing the women. Their reward was the little boy. Come on, man. We got to do our research. When I did the research and ended up and ran across a videotape they called In Color. My wife showed me that tape. And it was so heavy when I showed it to an audience, the sisters got up and walked out. This wasn't no physical beating, the mental and spiritual beating, the physical raping a young boy, tearing up a young boy. And slobbering. These are African men who had caved in. Who had caved in to the conquerors. And their reward was a boy. And even today, when you study the history, you study Rome, the bathhouses with their boys. You study Greece, the bathhouse with their boys.
Come on, Panther.
All in their culture, and they brought that culture, and they placed that culture on us.
Come on, Chairman.
Them and the boys. They just busted the whole religious order in the Catholic Church. The priests and the boys. And so this thing had been passed on, coming all the way through. Raping the young boys and taking gunpowder and stuffing it in the black man's rectum and putting a fuse in there and blowing him up. Let's talk about this.
Talk about it.
You understand what I'm saying? Let's talk about this. If you want to challenge it, get off your behind, go study, do the research. Don't let Ellis Haley tell you about it.
Come on with it now.
You go do it, your research and your study for yourself. So this culture was passed on. That whole penitentiary started, the first penitentiary that we ever went to.
Come on with it, Chairman.
Was Glory Island. The castle.
Come on.
They held us in the castles to send us across the sea to be put on a plantation to work. So when we talk about penitentiary, they got a habit of putting us in the penitentiary.
Right.
That's right.
What is the 13th Amendment? They had a 13th Amendment before there was an amendment. They got a habit. It's in their genetic makeup that we belong in incarceration. And in that incarceration, we have to be reduced other than a man, because as long as you're a man, you thinking, as long as you're a thinking man, you're thinking a way how to get out there and kill your captain.
That's right.